Hello children, welcome to the first language English class of 8th standard. In today's class, we will be learning about the second poem, Leisure. This poem has been written by W.H. Davis. Here, there is a box for you. Now, let us see what is there in this box. Yes, you see there is somebody reading, there is somebody playing music, someone is painting, yes, someone's gardening and someone's cycling, yes, and then there is rafting, wow, and somebody is also cooking. What do you think all these are? Yes, I have picked it up from my hobby treasure house. Now, let's think about these things. When do we do these activities? Do we do it when we are busy or do we do it in our free time? Yes, we do it in our leisure time or leisure time. Now, children, I want you to see that I have brought in two ways of pronouncing this particular word. The first one is pronounced as leisure. The second pronunciation says leisure. Now, both are right. The first one is the British way of pronouncing. The second one is the American way of pronouncing it. I will follow the first one. I will use the word leisure, right? Okay. Now, let us go to the poem. In this poem, Leisure, W.H. Davis brings out a very important aspect for us, which is applicable for all of us in today's life. Now, let us know about this poet before we go to the poem proper. W.H. Davis was born on 3rd July 1871. He was born in Newport, Wales, so he is a Welsh poet. He belongs to the Georgian School of Literature and he spent most of his youthhood as a tramp. Some of his major works are The Soul's Destroyer and Other Poems, Song of Joy and Others, Foliage, The Bird of Paradise and Other Poems. The principal themes in most of his works are life's hardships, human condition as reflected in nature, his own tramping adventures he has brought out as themes, and he has also spoken about the various characters he has met in his life. He has got a few awards. He has primarily got an honorary doctorate from the University of Wales and he was also honoured with a plaque at the church house in Newport, Wales. He met his end. He died on the 26th of September 1940. Now, this particular poem that we are going to study in today's class, Leisure, is taken from the collection Songs of Joy and Others. Now, listen to the poem. Are you ready? Yes. Give your ear. Now, we are going to listen to the poem, Leisure. Now, remember children, this poem is also meant for memorization. So, as you listen, please give your ear so that you will get the words clearly so that you will be able to pronounce it correctly too. Are you ready? Yes. Now, let us listen to the poem. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. No time to see when woods we pass, where squirrels hide their nuts in grass. No time to see in broad daylight streams full of stars like skies at night. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they dance. No time to wait till her mouth can enrich that smile her eyes began. A poor life this, if full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. Did you like the reading of the poem, children? Yes. Now, let's guess the meaning of the new words that you have come across in this poem. Now, look at the first word that is coming up. What is the first word? Bow. So, here is a clue. Here is a clue for you. What should you do? See if you can find out the meaning. I'll also give you another clue because just this picture may not help you find the meaning of a new word. Okay, now see, I have jumbled the words of the meaning. Now see if you can frame a correct sentence. A branch, a large of tree. Okay, let's check the right answer. The correct meaning of the word bough is a large branch of a tree. Now let's see how to use this in the form of a sentence. The boughs of the apple tree were bent with fruits. Now let's go to the next word. Enrich. Here comes an image and also the word clues of the improved quality. Now what do you think is the right answer? Yes, the meaning of the word enrich is improve the quality of. Now let's check how to use this in a sentence. Students should use their time to enrich their skills. Let's move to the next word. Stare. What is this cat doing? Yes, it is staring. So what is the meaning now? Let's look at the clue. Great at look, something with concentration too. Could you get the meaning? Let's check it. To look at something with great concentration. Can you see how it is looking deeply into something? Yes, that is the meaning of the word stare. Now let's see how to use it in the sentence. When the woman screamed, everybody stared at her. Beneath is the next word. Now let's see, where is the cat here? Yes, it is beneath. So what is the meaning? Let's check. Than, lower, at, level. That's the clue. Let's put it in an order and find out the meaning. At a lower level than. That's the meaning of the word beneath. In simpler words, underneath. So where is the cat here? The cat is looking from underneath or beneath the carpet. So that's how we use it in a sentence. Now let's go and appreciate the poem. Let's look at the various aspects that help us understand and appreciate the poem. Now, how many lines are there in this poem? Can you count quickly? Yes, this poem Leisure has 14 lines. Yes, the minute I say 14 lines, what is the other concept that comes to your mind, children? Yes, that it's a sonnet. But wait, don't come to a conclusion. This poem is not a sonnet. So then what is it? Now, it is a poem which has 7 rhyming couplets. 7 rhyming couplets. So you may have a doubt, what is a couplet? So let's check what is a couplet. Now what is a couplet? A couplet is a pair of lines. So it is a pair of lines. Now we will generally consider it as one unit that rhymes. So if there are 2 lines, these 2 lines will have the end rhyme. And then what is the other speciality of a couplet? Generally they have a same meter. Now let's quickly understand the concept of the meter with an example. Now look at this couplet here. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep and cows. Okay? So here it is a pair of lines and then it rhymes. Boughs rhymes with the word cows. Now let's understand what is a meter here. Now count on your fingers. No time to stand beneath the boughs. What did you count? You're counting the syllables, right? Count with me again. We will count the syllables of the next line. And stare as long as sheep and cows. Yes, that makes it 8. So, do we have 8 syllables in the first one? Yes, we do have. And what about in the second one? Yes, there also we have 8 syllables. Now, when we say that this poem has 7 rhyming couplets, it means all the lines in this poem have 8 syllables. Check it out, children. This is a small task for you. Now, let's quickly go to the poem proper. These are the first 2 lines of the poem, or this is the first couplet. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. Look at the question mark here. Do you see the question mark here? Yes. So, this tells us the poet is asking a question here. What is the question that the poet is asking? What is he asking? Yes. What is the question? The poet asks a simple question, but it is very profound to the readers. So, what is he asking? He asks, what is the value of this busy life if one has no time to stand and stare and enjoy the immediate surroundings in which we are living? Now, let's identify the number of syllables in these words. What is this life if full of care? Now, do you see what is the number I have put under each line, each word there? We have no time to stand and stare. Yes. Could you find the uniqueness of the first couplet? Yes, children. The uniqueness of this couplet is that it has all monosyllabic words in it, which means it has 16 monosyllabic words in it, which makes this particular couplet very, very unique. And that's why most people, even to this day, when they talk of the poem Leisure, they remember these 2 lines very well, because it is very catchy and you can easily memorize these lines. Let us add the rhyming words that we found in this couplet onto our rhyme wall here. We have a rhyme wall, and after each couplet, we will add our rhyming words onto this wall. Shall we start? Now, what was the rhyming words that you found? Quickly tell me. Yes, good. That is the one. Care, stare. So, these are rhyming words. Now, let's move to the next couplet. What does it read? It says, no time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep and cows. No time to stand beneath the boughs. So, you see the picture of a bough there. It means it's a large branch. We have no time to stand there and stare as long as sheep and cows. If you have lived in a countryside, if you have lived in a village, you will understand how these animals find all their time to stand and stare. Now, the words that suggest that the poet is talking about nature here are the clues. Yes. Can you tell me what are the words that you came across in this couplet? Yes, I gave you a hint. The first one is boughs. Next one is cows. The third one is sheep. I already have given another clue here for the next concept, something which we will put on a wall. Keep it in mind. Yes, what is it? We have to add the rhyming words that you just saw onto our rhyme wall here. What is it, children? Bows, cows. Very good. In the second couplet, what does the poet say? The poet basically shows his interest in the countryside or the village side. He also highlights the contrast between the human and the animal conditions, and he subtly suggests that animals are much better when it comes to enjoying their leisure time. Do you agree with this, children? Now let's move to the next couplet. No time to see when woods we pass, when squirrels hide their nuts in grass. Children, look at what the squirrel is doing. It is hiding its nut in the grass. In the third couplet, the poet tries to show to the reader that he is a keen observer of the little beauties of nature that provides joy. He also subtly stresses on the fact that busy men are missing out on very many small things in life that really bring joy. Now let us add the rhyming words of this couplet to the rhyme wall. What were they? Pass, grass. Very good. You are very quick. Now let's look at the fourth couplet. No time to see in broad daylight, streams full of stars like skies at night. Look at the imagery that is given here. We will talk a little more about it. Meanwhile, keep an eye on the rhyming words each time you come across a couplet. Now let's see what the poet has to tell in the fourth couplet. He says, he mourns the lack of time for watching brooks or rivers or creeks, where he has concocted to see stars during the day, just as he observes the night sky filled with those objects. Children, here the poet is actually feeling very proud of himself because he is able to see stars even in streams. He is able to stand and enjoy the little stars, and he feels it is not likely for many people to find stars in streams of water. Most people see stars only at night in the skies, but how many of them enjoy standing and looking at the glittering water which appears to be having stars in it during the day? Yes, that is why he feels very proud of himself here. Now let's add the rhyming words from this couplet to the rhyme wall. Now what were the words? I asked you to carefully look at it. Yes, let's put the words now. The words are daylight and night. Very good. Yes, before we move to the next one, we have figures of speech here. Now let's look at this light. Streams full of stars like skies at night. Now can you tell me that there is some figure of speech here? There are two objects which is coming up here. One is streams full of stars, skies also filled with stars. So here what are the two objects that are compared here? The stream is compared to the night sky. So both of them have something in common. What is it? Glittery, starry objects in them. Now when we use such objects to compare two things and look at it, we have the word like in the sentence. So look at this, we have the word like here. So what is the figure of speech? Very easy, right? It is simile. Very good. So let's move forward and see what is the next couplet wanting to tell us. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they dance. Children, I want you to enjoy this picture for a second. No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet how they dance. Now watch her feet. Now can you see her feet here? Can you see? Now let's think what we are talking about. No time to turn at beauty's glance. Now what do you think beauty here means? Yes, it means nature. So we don't have time to stand and observe her beautiful dance. Now I have just given a small picture here, but children, please Make time to see that there are so many beautiful little things around you happening every day, but we are missing out on them. And that's what we mean by saying we are not able to see her dance. So, we are missing out on the beautiful aspects of nature. In the fifth couplet, the poet wants to say, he wants to bemoan the fact that there is no time for us to stand and watch nature's beauty. We are missing it. Come on, let's add the rhyming words now to the rhyme wall. What are the rhyming words you saw here? Glance and dance. Very good. Glance and dance. Now, here again we find a figure of speech. What is it? No time to turn at beauty's glance and watch her feet, how they dance. So, here we have personification. Nature is given the quality of the person. Here I have given the comparative aspect so that you can make out that the nature is compared to a woman here. Now, let's move to the next couplet. No time to wait till her mouth enrich that smile her eyes began. In the sixth couplet, the poet is lamenting, feeling very sad that there is no time to stop and watch a woman smile, as it begins from her eyes and then spreads to her mouth. Now, let's add the rhyming word to our rhyme wall. Can, began. Did you get this? Yes, I am sure you have got this. Now, let's go to the last couplet, children. What does the last couplet say? A poor life this, if full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. Now, look at the punctuation at the end here. It is a full stop. A poor life this, if full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. So, he is saying that the life is so poor because we do not have time to stand and observe all these beautiful things in life. We have wasted our lives. Now, in this couplet, ultimately he is making a moral judgment for the whole humanity, for his fellow men. He makes it very clear that he finds all the busy people lacking. What are they lacking? They are lacking the aesthetic sense. They have lost the capacity to enjoy little beautiful things around them. So, that is what he feels that we are all lacking. Now, look at this beautiful comparison of the first and the last couplets, children. What is this life if full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. This is the first couplet. Now, what does the last couplet say? A poor life this, if full of care, we have no time to stand and stare. The question asked in the first couplet, what is he asking here? What is this life? Then he gets the answer in the last couplet, which he is actually giving us the answer also. He is saying it is a poor life if you are not able to stand and stare. If you are saying no time and you are not standing and staring, then you are actually wasting your time and your life is a really poor one and there is no use of your life. That is what the poet has to say. So, he is raising a question in the first couplet and he is himself giving the conclusion or the judgment to us in the last one. Now, let us add the rhyming words of this couplet to our rhyme wall. Are you ready? Yes, what does it say? Again, look at that. The first one and the last one have the same rhyming words. Now, let us quickly do an activity. Now, this activity has also been suggested in your textbooks, children. What should you do? You have to supply another rhyming word to all the rhyming words that are there on our rhyming wall now. Now, what are the words that are there in our rhyme wall? Let us see. Will you be able to give another rhyming word for all these? Very good. Do it and keep it ready. We have observed that the poet has been using in every couplet, he has used the word no time, no time, no time. How do you think we can comment on this phrase? The words no time appears in every couplet. It rings like a bell in this very carefully crafted poem that takes the reader through a series of occasions in which the excuse of no time prevents one from enjoying life to the full. The poet wants to emphasize here by using it in every couplet. Now, let us do another small activity. Can you identify this line? Now, here comes the clue. A, P, L, T, I, F, O, C. Could you get it? Okay. This is the line. A poor life, this is full of care. Children, you can even use this method in order to memorize the lines of this poem. This method is one among the many methods that can be used for memorization. Now, let us move to the next activity. Now, what is this? Let us quickly recall the substance of the poem. What is the substance of the poem? What does it mean? It means we are going to summarize the whole poem now. What does it say? Leisure by W.H. Davis is an incredible, unbelievable, incredible means unbelievable, poem about taking time to look around and notice the beauty that every day holds for us. Davis does a wonderful job of opening the eyes of all those who read this marvelous work or poem. This poem teaches us that we need to slow our lives down and take a look around and notice the little things around us. We should take advantage of the little time that we have on this beautiful earth and pay attention to the little things, small things, and we must not miss out on its beauty. That is the gist that the poet is actually trying to give us here. Now is the time for home assignments. Are you ready to write it down? Yes, come on, write it down, children. You have to complete these lines of the poem. What are they? What is this life? That's the first one. Second one is no time to wait. The third one is and watch her feet. Answer these questions. Quickly take it down. What do squirrels hide in grass? What are we missing in broad daylight? The next question is, how long do we stare? The fourth one is, what do beauty's feet do? What are the night skies compared to? What do you see in the garden? Could you write it down? Okay, these questions are also there in your textbook, children. So, don't worry if you are a little slow in writing. You can look up there and you can complete your tasks. I want you to think on this, children. How is our life today very different from the life visualized in the poem? What can we do to manage our time so that we enjoy the pleasures, little beauties of life? Think and try to apply it to your lives, children, because this is very essential. Now, thank you for patiently listening to me.